I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. A big day on Court TV, a big verdict in the case involving former NBA star Lorenzen Wright. You know, when Lorenzen Wright was drafted by the San Diego Clippers, draft day, held up a little shirt, and on the back it said, Mr. Wright. And that's what I want to talk about here off the top. Because this is a man, a young man, a father, a son, who deserved to live and die with dignity. And that was taken away from him. That was robbed from him. The end of his life, think about what those final moments were like, because he picked up his phone, he called 911. He knew what was about to happen. Could you imagine being in that position? Knowing you've got children and knowing that someone is about to shoot you, someone is about to kill you. And that was the end of his life. And then his body was just left out there. It took days and days and days for someone to find him. The inability to live and die with the dignity that he deserved. And why did that happen to Mr. Wright? Because he married Mrs. Wrong. We know who she is. Cheryl Wright, there she is. She's the reason that Lorenzen is dead. She facilitated the whole thing. She put it together. But for her, Lorenzen would be alive. But for her, her children's father would be alive. She took that all away from everyone. She pleaded guilty to facilitation, got the deal of a lifetime, but she is the reason. But she wasn't the one on trial. The one on trial is the now man known as the murderer, Billy Ray Turner. You know, a trial is about a search for the truth. And the truth is, this man is a murderer. The truth is, this man will die behind bars because he took someone's life. And the jury saw it. The jury quickly saw it and let us know, because that's what they do when the jury comes back. They let us know what happened. What was it? It was murder, and he's guilty. Finally tonight, and I say finally because that's an important word, I want to talk about Deborah Marion. That's Lorenzen's mom. She's not going to get closure because the family of murder victims, they don't get closure. I've spoken to way too many of them. I know. You're never the same. That void is forever. The pain is forever. But what she finally got after 12 years is some sense of justice. And I always say this after a guilty verdict. Think about what she would be feeling if that jury came back and said not guilty. Then no son, no closure, pain forever, and not even a sense of justice that the person responsible is being held responsible and will be punished. But all that is going to happen now for Deborah because the jury spoke. Take a listen.
State of Tennessee versus Billy Ray Turner, docket number 1705881, count 1, first-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. Count 2, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 2 of the indictment. Count 3, criminal attempt first-degree murder. The verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of criminal attempt first-degree murder as charged in count 3 of the indictment. And this verdict and jacket is signed by the foreperson of the jury, by the foreman, rather, of the jury.
I'm looking at him, you know, when the jury's speaking the truth, you're getting the truth. That's what happened today, I believe. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, joining us live from Memphis, Tennessee, inside that courthouse. Chanley, great to see you tonight. Paint the picture for us. I mean, this jury came back quickly today.
Yeah, they did. I think it surprised a lot of people how quickly they reached a unanimous decision, Vinny. But I've been in this courtroom every day. I've been watching this jury every day. And I could see a moment during the prosecution's rebuttal close by ADA Paul Hagerman. It was like some light bulbs went off for some of these jurors as he just made it really clear what the state's case was here. And like I said, didn't take them long, but everyone sort of gathered into the courtroom for that reading of the verdict, Vinny. And of course, I've been in close contact with Deborah Marion, the mother of Lorenzen Wright. And she was visibly shaking even before the verdict was read. There were family members for Billy Ray Turner, people that supported him sitting on his side of the courtroom. No overt reaction from him, but once the jury filed in, I always look to see if they are looking towards the defendant. None of them looked towards the defendant that I could tell, and the reading was really quick. But once that first guilty was read, the whole side of the courtroom with Lorenzen Wright's family just embraced each other. The husband of Deborah Marion comforted her, held her shoulder. She shook. Tears were streaming down her face. This was something that she's waited nearly 12 years to hear. She fought this battle to keep her son's case in the limelight for years after this was a cold case with the investigators. And those detectives who helped crack this case and solve it never left her side really throughout this entire trial. They're escorting her in and out of the courtroom, sitting next to her when the verdict was read. And you know, this was just a part that she's just been waiting so long to see. And Vinny, to see her body language before the verdict and then to talk to her after the verdict was rendered, it's like a different person I was talking to. Let's take a listen. What do you want to say to the prosecutors who fought inside the courtroom, to the officers that investigated this?
Thank you. I couldn't hug Paul Hagerman hard enough. I want to squeeze him in my body because he did a job. Because his rebuttal killed him, killed Perry. Perry should have just got on his car and went on in because this was a done deal.
Anything you want to say to Billy Ray Turner?
You sucker. How you let a woman talk you into killing her ex-husband and you get nothing but the lawn equipment? Why you didn't plead out first? I would have left the bag hold a hole in it because you wasn't going to get a dime from the murder of Lorenzen Wright. You was personally going to get a dime. You were going to have to wait to get a hand off of the $1 million, but you wasn't going to get nothing.
From this point on, I know it's not complete justice. We don't have Lorenzen back.
Right.
You'll never have him back. But what's next for you? What's going to keep you going next?
His children. Because to have his children around, it's like having him around. So just his children. You know, we could be bonded like we once were because his kids was my life. I would die for them. Especially the oldest one, that my first grandson, and he don't even talk to me. And he know I saved him from a lot of crazy stuff. But I love him still because he's my son's son. I love all of them.
Vinny, she told me that she's going to go visit Lorenzen's grave again. She would go visit it so frequently over the years. And she told me that he kept telling her to keep fighting. And now she knows that he's going to tell her, you know, job well done, you know, thank you for doing this. And this has just been such a difficult process for her and her family throughout. Finally hearing those words of guilty. I did try to talk to the supporters of Billy Ray Turner as they left the courtroom, but they had no comment, did not want to speak to the media, Vinny. But what an emotional roller coaster ride this day has been.
You know, Chanley, every night I speak with so many moms of victims who, you know, the case hasn't been solved, and you can tell what it means for them to get that answer, and now for her to get this justice tonight. You were so right in that description. It was a different person. You know, she's been carrying this burden for 12 years, and again, no closure, but she gets to turn the page a little bit and maybe just a little bit of relief. That is so important. What else is left for this defendant, the sentencing? I presume this is just going to be life. He's done, right?
Right, that's what we presume. In fact, the judge went ahead and sentenced him on that first-degree murder conviction because it is a life, automatic life. He does have parole here in the state of Tennessee. The judge did set that it's at 60, but with the good behavior, the serving of 85%, 51, I believe it was, 51 years before he would be parole eligible. Now, for the other 2 counts, he was convicted of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and the criminal attempt to commit first-degree murder. That was set for April 22nd. A PSI, pre-sentencing investigation, will be conducted. We know Billy Ray Turner has a criminal history. In fact, he's incarcerated right now. So even if he was acquitted today, Finney, he would not have walked out a free man. He is serving time currently on a firearms charge. But those, that exposes him to a range of, 20 to 30 for that conspiracy, 15 to 25 for the criminal attempt here under Tennessee law. So all that will be hammered out. Basically, like you said, a life sentence for Billy Ray Turner.
All right, Chanley, stand by. We'll get back to you in just a second. I want to bring in our think tank right now, get some reaction from them. Joining us in Stamford, Connecticut, criminal defense attorney Darnell Crossland. In Staten Island, New York, former prosecutor Joan Orban Iluzzi. Amazing. Great to have you here tonight. First time. Great to see you. Who was that guy that she prosecuted? Was it Harvey? Was it Harvey Weinstein? Something like that?
Yes, that's the guy.
Yes, indeed. Great to have you here, Joan. And Al Wunsch III. Great to see you and have you back. Was a criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor with us. All right. Joan, I'm just going to start with you first, just because I want your reaction to the mom's reaction and what that means for a prosecutor. When you're able to deliver that justice to a mother who has waited 12 years.
Thank you for having me tonight, Vinny. Yes, I have, like you, spoken to many moms and have spent those weeks, months, and sometimes years with a family of somebody who was deceased, who was murdered unjustifiably. And the relief, it's as if a burden has been lifted from them. I prosecuted the Aton Pates case, and that was a case that took 30 years to get justice. And that family never left their home, never changed addresses or telephone numbers, waiting for their son to come home. When the perpetrator was convicted, they were able to live again, to live perhaps for the first time in all those years. And it's palpable. You could see it in Lorenzen's mom's face and her demeanor, that this is an opportunity for her to now proceed with her life, to take her next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Darnell, trial, search for the truth. This was a really horrific case because of, it's totally, there's never a reason for murder, right? But this was ridiculous. And all these people going along, playing along for this thing. But I think the truth came out in that courtroom. What do you think?
I absolutely agree 100%. And the last time Lorenzen was seen by anybody was in 2010. So this has been a long journey. And, normally when a jury is deliberating, a criminal defense attorney feels good when they're taking a long time. When you get to go home and you come back the next day wondering, okay, we kept them out a whole night. There was none of that here, and they needed no coffee to stay awake here. So no pun intended, but Judge Coffey delivered that in 2 hours. And that showed that there was no doubt. There was no reasonable doubt. There was no doubt at all. And I think justice was served. This was ridiculous. It was a waste of life. And I hope that those kids find some support in their grandmother and they're able to know that their father was a great citizen and did his best.
Yeah, Al, in this case, the prosecution had to make a deal with Jimmy Martin. This guy is a murderer. He's serving time for another unrelated murder, believe it or not. But sometimes you got to make a deal with a guy like that. He got immunity for this one. He's being, housed and punished for the other one. So at the end of the day, sometimes you got to cut those deals to get the truth out in front of a jury.
Absolutely. And by the way, happy spring, everyone. Sometimes you have to make deals with the devil, and you have to dance with the devil in order to get the people who have committed murder. Unfortunately, in most instances, murderers don't hang around with the most reputable of people. And in this case, they had to go with, a dog, somebody who had a lot of issues, somebody who the defense really did try to attack and make what he was, which was someone who's just deplorable as a human being. But, you know, that's what you have to do. You sometimes have to dance with the devil to get the song played.
Yeah, I'm, again, seeing his mom's reaction tonight is important. It's such an important part of the story. You know, sometimes there are some families that never get that moment, and for her to have that moment today means a lot. But there's other pieces that have to be put together, Joan. It's not just like, okay, this happens and then, you know, everything's great. It's better than it was the day before. But this is a family, Joan. The children are kind of stuck in the middle here, right? Because mom's been implicated, et cetera. So this is going to be something that kind of lives on throughout the rest of her life, trying to come to terms with this. But do you celebrate? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's the emotion here, right? What's the emotion for prosecutors and for the family? I guess there's a moment of a sort of celebration, even though you know that Lorenzen's not coming back.
You know, Vinny, it's never really happiness or good cheer. It's a sense of immense relief that the truth revealed itself and that someone got some modicum of justice here. It is never, you know, that you go out and party and something's happy. There's one life is gone, the other life is ruined forever. It's always very, very sad. Sad for the children, sad for the family on both sides. Let's face it, you know, Billy Turner's family is innocent, and they are mourning as well the loss of their son now, even though it was obviously of his own doings. So it's just a sense of relief that the truth came out and that everyone saw what the truth was.
All right, Think Tank with us the whole hour. Darnell Crossland, Joan Aluzzi, Al Wunsch. More verdict reaction. We're going to get more from Chanley Painter, and I want to talk about Mrs. Wrong, okay? Let's talk about her deal. Let's talk about, you know, how this all happened. That's straight ahead.